This is Chris Cunningham speaking from New York, where we are going to take a peek at a secret. The secret is one which generally is very well kept. What will next year's cars be like? And for a preview of 1961, I have with me today Robert Cumberford, automotive designer and reporter. Let's get right down to business. What will next year's cars be like?
Well, Chris, after a lot of emphasis on sleek styling, I think there will be added emphasis on comfort in 1961. You know, the people who ride in today's cars are the same shape people who rode in the cars of the 1930s. But today, people want their cars to be low and sleek, which has created some problems at times in the form of a few crushed hats and bruised knees. Now, though, engineers in Detroit have come up with an answer which will make future cars not only sleek, but more comfortable.
Well, what does that mean? Back to the boxy contours of yesteryear?
Not by a long shot. I doubt that you could sell a 35 model car to anybody today, except, of course, a collector of antique cars. No, the problem in Detroit is to keep the styling and provide more room for the passengers.
Well, that sounds like quite a trick, sort of like the irresistible force meeting the immovable object.
That would be true, but for one thing, advances in engineering. When the steel box that was the 1930 car was designed, the designers were somewhat limited. They had had little experience with auto design, and they did not have the steels that are available today.
In other words,
new steels, new designs. They promised to make the 1961 car and cars thereafter sleek and low-slung, yet roomy and comfortable. Engineers recognize that losses in comfort and performance must be restored. Not only that, but they must be restored without disturbing the integrity or the cost of the product.
And has this been done?
Yes, the big problem has been lowering the body without also lowering the frame on which it rests. It's been clear for a long time that this was not a minor matter of adjustment. This called for radical new thinking. The solution engineers call unitized body construction. It's both simple and ingenious. The car frame is simply done away with.
Done away with?
Yes, a unitized body has no frame. The strength of the frame is built into the body itself. Incidentally, unitized design is not brand new this year. It began back before World War II in this country. But 1961 will find it in greater favor than ever before. It isn't simple or inexpensive to change the basic design of an automobile, and the switch to unitized design could come only when the need was urgent. A Detroit engineer told me just the other day that the unitized concept had forced him to take a new look at basic materials. As he put it, we'd always taken steel strength for granted. It was there and we used it, but when we faced the problem of unitizing, we had to find out just how good it was.
And how did the tests turn out?
Well, the engineers said that the results showed potentials in steel which had never been explored before. There was increased strength and performance which will keep engineers busy for years, just learning how to get the most out of steel.
Well, that sounds like good news for America's motorists during 1961. And thank you, Mr. Robert Cumberford, automotive designer and reporter. This is Chris Cunningham speaking from New York.